Hi guys, welcome to devotional number 72. We are still in our You Got This devotional book, and this one is titled Be Reminded. The scripture comes from 1 John 2 and 15. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And it says, when we don't get the answers we cry out for, doubt can set in pretty quickly. We've all had times when we wanted certain things to happen, but it didn't get the results we were hoping for. Maybe we wanted our prayers to be answered in a specific way and they weren't. When we feel that God has failed us, it's easy to let thoughts of this world creep into our minds, thoughts of doubt, resentment, and failure. But those thoughts are not from God. Those thoughts will try to pull you away from Jesus and lessen your trust in Him. When you feel your mind leading you down this path, pull back. Remember, He's always a way maker, a miracle worker, and a promise keeper. Throughout Scripture, we are told not to conform to the world we live in. The world can suck us in and cause us to lose sight of the one most high. When we are in dark places, He is the light of the world. God never stops working for us. When we feel He has failed us, we just have to wait. What He has planned is so much greater than we could ever imagine. Our lives won't always work out how we like them to, but if we continue to give it to God, He will make it okay. The truth is, we were never promised any easy life, but we were promised a life filled with God's joy, strength, courage, peace, and grace. He is full of so much goodness. God has never left you, and He never will, and He never has. And to start off with, like, you know how it told us that if we are for God, then we can't love the world. But if you love the world, then Christ not in you. Because if you love the world and if you say you for Christ, and you out here doing everything that's of the world, then you can't. Because if you love Christ and was living for Him, you'll know that the things that the world tell you is okay is everything that the Bible tell you not to do. And like social media and all that stuff really messes it up because it makes you feel like those things are okay, and then it makes you feel like if you're trying to live for Christ, you're weird or something wrong with you, or like they try to make it seem like you're too young. But it's a scripture saying, don't let them tell you you too young to be living for Christ. But I'm gonna find it, I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, so like I said, if you living for the world, Christ ain't in you. And once you give yourself to Christ, you're gonna be made new. So you're not gonna be the same no more. All that worldly stuff you did, them desires you have, you're gonna have to let them go. And that comes with fighting your flesh daily, and that's gonna be the hard part. But you're gonna have to fight it. But as long as you in your word and you continue to give your life to Christ and let Him lead, you'll be okay. And two, like where it says like we were never promised a good life. I feel like that's the misconception, and it's not taught a lot that once you give your life to Christ, you still gonna go through some things. A lot of times, since now the church culture makes it seem like if you give your life to Christ, then it's gonna be easy peasy lemon squeeze, and it's not. And I honestly feel like once you give your life to Christ, that's when you're gonna face most of your battles in life and gonna go through things, and they don't tell you that because a lot of people don't even know about warfare till they start to experience it. And I feel like if we knew about it before, we'd be more prepared for what we need to do. But all you have to do is stay in your word, keep keep God in you, and keep your strength, because that's what you're gonna need to get through. You're gonna need His words to fight off the attacks of the enemy during that time of warfare. Because just because you follow Christ, that don't mean your life is gonna be easy. It's gonna be worse. And what makes it seem like when you give your life to Christ, what makes it seem like it's so much harder is because when you were living in the world, you weren't living for Christ. So the devil, he didn't have to fight for you because you was already out there doing what you wanted to do. He wanted you to do, and what you wanted to do rather. So once you give your life to Christ, He gonna have to start fighting for you again, and He gonna cause so much chaos in your life and make things go wrong and flip stuff upside down and make it just seem like, okay, before I gave my life to Christ, I wasn't even going through none of this stuff. But that's what He wants you to think, because He wants you to feel like when you were with Him, you were more free, which you weren't. So when you give your life to Christ and you start going through stuff, just know that stuff still gonna happen, and it might come 10 times harder because the enemy gonna have to start fighting for you now. Because before you were living for Christ, He didn't have to fight for you because you was living for Him basically, because you was doing all the things of the world. And what else? Oh, and sometimes I feel like too we forget that God will test you sometimes. So sometimes when you go through stuff, that's Him trying to see if you're gonna keep the faith that He gonna bring you through after He done brought you through one thing. Cause sometimes God will bring us through some stuff, we'll celebrate, And then time we face something else or something don't go our way, we be ready to forget about him and saying God don't care about you when that's not the case. And you got this is sometimes we need a good reminder of Jesus' love for us. Our desires and wants and dreams sometimes don't align with the plan he has for us. And his plan is better than anything we could dream. While it's easy to give up when we don't get our way, let's not allow our disappointments to turn into doubt or other worldly thoughts. When we rely on Jesus instead of the word, we can live in much greater peace and understanding. And that was devotional number 72. I will see y'all in 73, and I hope y'all have a blessed day.